Hey guys, welcome back. Many of you guys have been asking me to do a drugstore makeup, and that's what we're going to do today. So I've gotten together some of my favorite products from the drugstore to show you guys a full face using them. Let's get right to it. I don't have a primer, so I washed my face and just using a moisturizer, my regular moisturizer as primer. And I did finally get a hold of this CYO Life Proof foundation. This is like one of the hardest things to find in my color, which is 101. That's this here. The Taylor used this on her channel quite a bit. It is a mess. It's a messy pump, guys. You see how that's splattered everywhere. I don't know, and it's very thin. I do know, I have tried this foundation one other time, and it did seem to be a little on the light side. I have been kind of digging the sponge lately. I don't know why. I think it has a lot to do with some of the foundations that I'm using, but also just, I have been kind of liking a thinner coat of foundation on, and you can really blend this out without going super to town on it, and I have been liking that. My hair is a mess, sorry guys. I have been laying around today. I'm still suffering from a kidney infection and kidney stones. Not fun. So this color is very pretty though. I will tell you, I am a little shocked. I did finally get my mirror, and I'm loving this. Jeffree Star's mirrors are great. Little hand mirrors. And as we all know, I like Jeffree Star's products. This is very pretty foundation, and it seems to be, for me, you know, people say certain foundations are heavy coverage, high coverage, medium coverage, full coverage, you know, whatnot. I think it really just depends on your skin. My skin, I don't have a lot of blemishes. I don't have a lot of, you know, like pimples or oily skin, or, you know, those kind of problems. My problems are more texture problems and wrinkle problems. I hate that right around the nose. I always get that right around the actual nostril. I make my nose run. Right around the nostril, I always get that little kind of ring around it. But there we go. And I didn't use nearly as much of this foundation as I thought I was going to. But it's very pretty. Now, so you see I used about half of what I put out, which I'm very surprised with. I thought I was really going to use a lot of this. Excuse me, but I didn't. I'm going to grab my Age Rewind concealer. I use the brightening one, and if you have maturing skin like I do, you want to stay as close to the under eye as possible. You see how people drag it down? You don't need to do that. You see where I go? I go right into the tear duct, and I go right up under that lash line. I will also sometimes go ahead and prime my eyelids with this. Usually I just prime the top part. I don't prime the actual lid. Today I am, because I do use the NYX the glitter glue quite a bit on my lids. Actually, probably I would say 9 times out of 10. I use that on my lids to really help with my hooded eyes for shadows to stick. And this is just the G38 brush. Somebody had mentioned that they weren't making the Gunmetal series anymore from Murphy, but I did check yesterday, and they are still available. The reason why I stay really close with stuff around my eyes like that, and I use that brush, and then I will actually go back with my foundation, because your foundation tends to have a little bit more moisture, it tends to. And I will go right under that eye right there. Sometimes I will actually have to go in with a moisturizer after I've done my foundation, just to kind of freshen it back up because of the fact I have such dry skin. Now I will take this brush here and I will go over any little areas that I feel like it may kind of settle in my lines, which is around my mouth right here, are terrible. And just lightly pull my skin taut and kind of run that in that crease. Anywhere that I feel like I may get creasing. You can even kind of tap in. I didn't put any extra product, but you can see how I did, you can talk about the discoloration, I did remove a little bit of product. Now, a powder that I have absolutely loved, I've used this quite a bit. This is the Infallible Pro Glow. This is a pressed powder. You lift it up and they have the little sponge underneath and a mirror. I don't use either one of those. I like to go in with my Furless. This is the CB4 brush and just kind of swirl it around, tap it off, and then I just like to press that in to help settle that foundation in. And the reason why I like this foundation or this powder is you can kind of see there it has a little bit of a glow to it, which you don't want to go crazy when you have mature skin. I'm looking at this like it has a mirror. You don't want to go super glowy when you have mature skin, because what you're going to do at that point is you're going to start emphasizing, you know, some of your texture, some of your just fine definition to your face, wrinkles and whatnot. Now, I discovered this little goodie here. This is my eyebrow pencil. I'm just going to fluff up my eyebrows a little bit. I hate that I tend to get foundation kind of caked in them, so I always kind of run my brush through, and you'll see where that kind of picked up a little bit of the foundation that's stuck on those hairs. You get just such a better look when you do that. Sometimes if I'm using a super full coverage foundation, I will even go in and go across with a makeup wipe or just a damp, clean beauty blender. This is just a damp beauty blender with nothing on it. And I'm using the pointed side. This is the Morphe one. And just running that quickly across my eyebrows. I'm going to run that back through. You want to be careful not to put the product back on there after you've done that. But this is the Maybelline Tattoo Brow Tint Pen. And this is number 360 medium brown. This is the one that you see has the three little, it's so hard to focus. Let me see if I can get that to focus on there. It has three little like points to it. And I like this because you can really get in there and draw. I start out sideways like this and just lightly go at the bottom of my brow, kind of defining the under part of the shape. Extend my tail a little bit because I don't have much of one, and then just slowly kind of go upward strokes through those hairs. What you're doing is you're catching your own hairs, but underneath you're drawing on regular, you know, draw on hairs. Sorry. I like to turn it this way where the pointed side is down and just lay that where I want it and flick it upwards. Mine is a little dried out, but you just kind of work this through the brows. See, I'm just really going for more of a natural brow with this. I like this because you can build this up or you can do a very natural brow. Today I'm going to do a very natural brow. See how underneath, if I press a little harder, I can get little deeper, darker strokes. Or I can just lightly go across and pick that up. Now the what is oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name. there's a few different ones that are out that are like this. Milani, is that how you say it? I can't ever pronounce it right. They have one they've come out with also. And theirs tends to be a little too pigmented, I feel like, for me. Also, another one that I like that's not really drugstore, but I can show it to you real quick. This is from Shop Miss A, and these are the sculpting brow pencils, and they are more like this. If you want something that's going to be a little more of a pigmented kind of color, this is more waxy. This one, let me show you this here. If you want something that's going to be a little heavier, see, as I just missed my eyebrow completely, you can kind of go in and you get more of a waxy type brow with that than you did with the other one, where it was more natural. I'm just going to top the other side off a little bit, but you can get this to kind of go really light, or you can kind of get some dark strokes in there. But like I said, it's very waxy. It's a more of a solid product, and you can kind of work it through. I usually don't do my brows on here, but I figured I would just go ahead and do a whole kind of start to finish look for you guys. I'm not doing anything super crazy. This is going to be a little more of a natural kind of day. So, and I have here the L'Oreal, which I am a die-hard L'Oreal fan. I have not really found a L'Oreal product that I don't like a super bunch. This is the L'Oreal Enchanted. This was the scented ones they came out with. That is it there. And I'm just going to grab a nice fluffy brush. I'm going to grab this one here. I think this is 44. Yep, 441. I'm going to go in with this color right here in the center. Kind of a caramely taupe color. And I'm just going to start working that in my crease and kind of work it upwards. Kind of build that corner in right there. The only thing I don't like about that palette, it doesn't have a mirror, so it's a little difficult for me to have to hold a mirror and do my shadows. Now, if you notice, I start out, I'm always relaxing my eye because of the hooded eyes. I want to make sure that I can really see the edge of that. And then I'll actually lift my eye to blend that in. But if you lay down your color first with a relaxed eye, you can really see where you want that to lay. Keep looking back and forth. There we go. I want to get a nice, just a pretty kind of wash of color, kind of a background there. I'm going to grab a little more defined brush here. Let me get my brushes over here. I got a little couple brushes here. I got this at the dollar store, and it's been just wonderful to put my brushes in because I can really see what the heck I'm doing. And this is a Morphe brush. I don't know what the name of it is. It's kind of a tapered kind of blending brush. It's been through hell and back. I'm going to go in the color next to that, this one here. This is kind of a satiny color. It's not really a matte like the first one was. It's not really a shimmer, but it does have a little bit of a satinness to it. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to use that strictly in the outer corner and the lower part of the outer crease to kind of darken that up. Just give me a nice little shadow in there, and what I'm creating is depth, bringing that down on the lower lash line and working that upwards. Here we go. Just very lightly, whatever's left over, working it all the way into the inner to kind of give me that nice little shadow. You see how that really defines that inner part of the crease. And if you have hooded eyes like I do, or even worse than I do, you will really notice a difference because it really helps you get that depth, where when we have hooded eyes, we don't wind up with a lot of depth. Now, when I go on the outside corner, at first I stamp that color in and then work it. The reason why I stamp it in is because that's how you really get the depth of the color. and really start to get the really richness to that. Oh, I went into the wrong color there. A little bit more right here. I'm just going to kind of stamp that in. Now I'm going to go into this deeper color right here. This is more of a chocolate brown color. This is a very neutral palette. I'm still with the same kind of, this is kind of a flat, more tapered kind of blending brush. I'm going to tap off my excess and I'm going to stamp this right there on the very edge of the corner, and I'm going to work that right on that lash line all the way across. What I'm creating is kind of a definition on that eye right there and up in the corner here, almost like an eyeliner without lining it. I'm going to dip back in and I'm going to go under and work that on that lower lash line. Same thing on the other side. Start with pressing and then start pulling that up into that same area, and underneath we're going to work that in. If you have hazel eyes like mine, you really notice that when you work with browns and reds, you will really start to bring out the green tones in your eyes. That's why you see me a lot of times. I love, love, love wearing reds, and burgundy is one of my favorite tones to do on my eyes, and browns, and that's why I always use, you hear me use Sumatra, that eyeshadow I'm going to be using, or eyeliner, I'm going to be using that today. I did not get an eyeliner from the drugstore. I have very sensitive eyes, and I try not to try a lot of different brands when it comes to eyeliners. I know that's kind of, you know, what I do here is try different products for you guys, but it seems like every time I try that, I tend to really just irritate my eyes, and we're not going to do that today. I try to stay within the same few brands that I can. And also, a lot of people ask me why I don't do a lot of drugstore products, and the reason for that is I do love drugstore products. I do love the price points on them, but I do have such a hard time with different products irritating, and that's why I tend to do that. I'm just going in. I didn't put it anymore. This is the first brush, that 441 brush, and I'm just kind of softening that up. I didn't put any more product on that. I'm just going and really softening those edges up just to give that really kind of blown out, sexy, you know, shadow to the eye. I don't want something super crazy. I want this to kind of still look somewhat natural. We are going to clean up this edge though, but I do want to really blend that out. I want a very blended, pretty look today. Oh, my nose is just running. Do you guys wonder, I've heard a few people have made comments about me and my sinus problem. I'm sorry. I live in Florida and it is horrible here. I really just, sometimes I can't stand it. I'm going to go ahead and grab my NYX glitter glue, and I'm going to, I lost the lid and I keep having to push the little tiny bit out. But I'm going to grab that between my pinkies. I always like to grab it, kind of warm it up and dab it off, and then I'm going to put it on this inner part of my eye, about the inner half. That's what I'm going to do. You want to make sure not to really get this anywhere, because if you get fallout, it will stick to this. So that's why I'm always so careful to pat this on. I got a little bit right there that I did not want. Fingernails are great for that. I'm going to pat that on. Same thing on the other eye. I'm going to go ahead and pat this on to the inner, about half of my eye, a little over a third, almost half, to just really get a nice sticky base. And I'm going to grab this. This is a BH Cosmetics number 4 brush. This is like a flat concealer brush, and I'm going to pick up this color right here, this kind of, it's kind of a champagne-y pink color, and I'm going to put that right here just to start working in some shimmer and some color, some depth in there on both eyes. Using it as kind of a from that chocolate brown over into a shimmer and a lighter color. You just kind of pat that on there. You don't want to really drag it because you won't get the color payoff that you can from patting it. I kind of pat and just barely drag that. See how that just really gives just a little bit of color there. I'm using my color switch from June & Co. over here. Now I'm going to come into this really shiny color down here. Same brush. I cleaned that off real well. I'm using this dry, and these colors are actually really nice for that. You see I'm getting a lot of pigment. I am getting fallout, so you see me tapping this off so I get the extra fallout. But I'm going to go ahead and start patting that from the inner corner all the way to that other color that we did, just giving a very pretty shiny shimmer there. Pick up some more here. So hard to pick this up. Pick up just enough product that you can place it but don't have a ton of fallout. That's one thing with drugstore shadows. For some reason it's not sticking as well. On this side I don't think I have as much of the base, the glitter glue here, so I'm going to take my pinky and I'm just going to kind of press that in there a little better. There we go. Kind of get that even. I felt like this side was a little more shimmerier than that. There we go. Now with a little bit of that color still on there, I'm going to go back into that first shimmer color, that peachy color, and I'm just going to kind of use that to blend right here. Lightly blend that in. Over here, same thing. Now I'm going to take this same brush right here. Now you can see these are really soft shadows, but they are beautiful. Look at that pigment, is just really pretty. I'm going to go into that chocolate brown, and I'm just going to pick that up on this little concealer brush. And you see how I'm just going to kind of pick up maybe about 1/3 of that brush worth. I'm going to tap off the excess, and what I'm doing with that is I'm just going to come in here right at the lash line. You can even get it right on the tip of that brush and work it right here. I'm going to kind of work almost like a shadow wing is what I'm doing. Just kind of darkening that right at the lash line and slightly up a little. Just to kind of pull that eye upward right there. You don't have to worry about putting too much because you want that nice dark richness right there. And you can also pull that under and work that. We've been working the shadows under the eye as well, but you can go ahead and work this a little deeper under there. Now, there we go. Clean that off. Now I'm going to grab, this is a flat definer brush from BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to take this, dip this straight down here into that brown color, and also I'm going to dip it into this bronzy color right next to it. I'm going to kind of dip it into both, and what I want to do is get kind of a bronzy deep color, and I'm going to work that right on this outer corner of the lower lash line to about the inner third. The reason why I dip into the matte and the shimmer is to make sure I have a nice rich color, but I want to get that shimmer, but I want to have a nice base for it. I'm going to work that up in that corner as well, right there. See how I've made a nice pretty wing out of it? Same thing on this side. This one's hard for me because this eye is a little messed up. This eye does not handle that very well. And you can also kind of come up here if you want into here, and that will define it more on both. But I think I'm really happy with that. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little teeny pencil brush I have here, and this is, it's a Morphe C527. Actually, it's a Crown C52. I'm sorry, C52. It's a very tiny. You can see itty bitty pencil brush, and I'm going to pick up that shimmery shade this one here. I'm going to get a nice amount on that brush, and I'm going to dab that right on that inner corner, just a little bit right in the very corner of my eye. You want to make sure with the shimmers to tap off the excess, and I like to do just slightly above the tear duct and slightly below right there to really give that corner a nice little shimmer. You can also go ahead and drag that under right here to meet your brown that you put. Just kind of work it down there and work it on over. There we go. Now, I like to do this. You don't have to. I always take that first brush we used, and I always like to just go ahead and make sure that I've gotten a nice pretty blend on everything and nothing's sitting kind of gunky or anything, and go over it like that just to kind of blend it out a little bit. Now you see we did dig a ton into there, but that is because these shadows are very soft. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this is my sponge that I use to put the foundation on, and I'm just going to kind of run right there. Can I kind of clean that corner up on both sides? You can do this with a makeup wipe. You can do it really with anything. I like to use my makeup sponge with a little bit of the foundation on it, because that way, if you do pick up your makeup, it has a little bit of foundation on there. It pulls it right on up. There we go. And that is the eyes. I'm going to grab the one product that is not the drugstore product, as I said, and that is my Smashbox Sumatra for my waterline. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that in my waterline real quick. That is that rich chocolate brown that I use all the time. I love this color. I also like to run that on the top line, just to tight line that inner or outer corner. Really gives it a nice richness. Really just frames the eye. Now I'm going to go ahead and I want to grab my powder brush real quick here, and I just want to set a little extra powder underneath my eyes, just to make sure that we didn't get that fallout, and wind up with a little bit of brown there, and just kind of work that back in. Make sure everything's nice and set. There we go. Now I'm going to grab this. This is a product that's been around forever. I swear I used this, God, I think I was 19 the first time I ever used one of these. This is not the same packaging it came in. Very close. It always came with the blush and the contour color, but it never had the highlighter until just a few years ago. This is the Master Contour by Maybelline, and that has these 3 colors in it right here. I love, love, love these. I'm just going to grab, what is this? This is just a Morphe, it's kind of an angle brush. It came in one of the face sets, and I'm going to grab that outer color, and I'm just going to start working that right in my hairline. I like to start right in that hairline and just build that color. Build that color at the hairline, and then start working it under my cheekbone right there. Well, actually, my cheekbone, the underneath is right here. I actually start working that up here, because I like my cheekbones to look a little higher. There we go. Just really build that up, and I'm going to do that right on the edge of my forehead, working that there. What I'm doing is just kind of shaping my face, kind of thinning it out, because I have a nice little chunky face and I like it to look a little less round. I saw a picture of myself the other day, and I didn't have my face contoured. I hadn't seen like a picture of me without contour in a while, and it looked like my face looked very round. It looked very different to me. But there we go. Just work that in. Now with contour, you don't have to go super crazy. I don't really contour my nose a whole lot. I just go lightly down each side and right across here, the bridge here, and then angle the edges. I like my nose, even though it's a little crooked, but it's all right. Now, because I have a little rounder face, I like to go ahead and bring this here. what that does is that kind of brings my chin in a little tighter right there. It takes this little blob here away. Yes, I called it a little blob. I know. You know what? You gotta love who you are. And I do, even though there's a little more of me than I like to love, but that's okay. You know, I like food, so plus I have health problems that cause me to have a hard time losing weight, unfortunately. But there we go. Go ahead and just contour that in, and I'm gonna grab a nice fluffy brush here. I'm not sure which brush this is. This is just a crown brush. It's kind of a fluffy brush. I like this for the blush. I'm going to grab this in that blush color. This is kind of a pale blush color, but I like it because you can really kind of build it up. Kind of build that color up. There we go. And I always like to come across my nose and follow up into here. Now, I purposely did this just so you would see. You see how I kind of went a little heavy right there? I take my powder brush and I just lightly, see how that just added a tiny bit of powder to that and kind of pulled that color up. And there we go with that. You can always go back if you feel like you took out a little too much. You can just go back and bring a little more in. I always like to go across my nose and right across my chin. It's just something I've always done with my blush colors. Now, I got foundation on my mouth, and yes, I just wiped it on my shirt, but that's okay. Let's grab this. This color is so pretty. This is from the Flight of Fantasy from Wet n Wild, and this is Blossom Gold. Their highlighters are amazing. They're very dusty, but they don't play. I'm gonna grab my NARS. Mine is actually an imitation NARS brush. I've always wanted one of these. I don't know what this was called. These came out from NARS. I got mine out of China. It's not the real one. It's very dusty. I'm going to pick that up, dust off the extra. I'm going to come in, and I like to come just slightly below, because if I go up too high, I feel like I emphasize too much texture and brush it off there. This is a very, very crazy, shocking highlighter, and it's not even really doing it justice in these lights, amazingly. I'm going to come and dust that in lightly. Then I like to go right into the brow bone right there with it, just with the edge of the brush, getting it there. Pick up a little more. And go right here into the forehead, each corner. I don't like to go right in the middle. Some people do right in the middle. I actually like to go kind of right here and right here. I feel like that kind of thins my forehead down, and it just kind of gives it that kind of glossy, almost sweat-like look. But one thing I do love to do, smile, and I do right at the tops of my cheeks, because I like when you smile, it just really picks up that glow, no matter what lighting you're in. Now, a lot of people use a brush. I like to use my finger for this one. That is right at the Cupid's bow. I go right across here, and then right, I don't know what they call these little lines right here, up to your nose, right there. And then I take my pinky and go down the center and wipe it out. But I like it to have that pretty little pop of shimmer right at the top of my lip. And also right on the bridge of the nose and the tip. There we go, right here. Just gives a cute little emphasis to that. And for finishing spray, BH Cosmetics has a very nice makeup finishing spray. I'm not really sure if this was like dewy or what. It's just, it's a lot like Fix Plus. It's basically glycerin, water, and a few scents. Yeah, I feel like you have to hold this thing this far away because it has a spray. Let me show you. That's one spray. You see how much fluid? And if you spray too close, your makeup is, there, you can see your makeup is just going to run right off. So I'm going to make sure to hold this out, or even spray it and pull into it is a lot of help. And for lip color. I thought I had Maybelline right here. I have a Cokie lip color right here. This is Mad About Mauve. It's more of kind of a chocolatey, kind of burgundy color, I think. I'm not going to use a lip liner. I'm just going to go in with this. This is a little dark, but let's try it out. I'm using just a very light amount. I like to pick it up and then wipe as much as I can off on that edge. And then I use the edge of the brush as a lip, kind of a lip liner. I have been liking that. See how I'm doing kind of a blurred line? I've really been liking that kind of blurred lip. I haven't tried a lot of Cokie products. Mainly, I've tried their lip colors because they've came in a couple of, I think it was Ipsy had them for a while. Now, if you have smaller lips and you want to emphasize them a little bit, if you go right between your lips, you can see how I just slightly overdraw between the Cupid's bow. Instead of actually dipping down and going down, I actually kind of connect them at an angle. And what that does is that gives you more volume right there in the front of your lip. Now, when I say about the blurred lip, I don't know how other people have been doing it. This is how I've been doing it. I don't use a lip liner. And then the very last thing I do is I take a Q-tip and very lightly, you don't want to press too much because you'll take your foundation off. And I just kind of roll, that right on the line. See how that really just took that definition away? I just kind of roll it on there. And if you feel like you missed the spot, just kind of roll it out a little more. And that gives you a nice, barely transfer. After you blot it a couple times, you're not going to get any transfer. And I've really been enjoying that. But let me take my hair down. That has been a full face using the, oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot mascara. You know, I don't know what it is. I forget mascara everywhere. I tried this the other day. I could not wait. I bought this just for this video. And this is the Maybelline Ultimate Length Lash Stiletto. And I bought it in Very Black, which I normally don't buy. This is brand new. And I would compare this to Bad Girl Bang. That is the brush there. And if you can, I don't know if you can kind of see, you want to get it right at the lash line and work it, just pull straight up with this one. It is a kind of wet formula. You don't want to knock it back and forth. I did try that, and it seemed like I made kind of a mess with it. I'm going to do the top ones, let them sit for just a second. I'm going to dip back in. I'll let the top ones sit for just a second before I do the bottom. But I have really been impressed with this. This is waterproof, which I used to not use waterproof ones because I thought they actually stay on and my eyes don't water as bad. So I'm thinking something in the other one was irritating me. Or it's just me. Look at the length that I got out of that. And the volume. Look at that. That is just so pretty. And this is a Drugstore mascara. I think they're really realizing, these companies, that we're not going to put up with this crap. We want good quality products no matter where we get them and no matter how much we pay for them. It doesn't matter if it's $10 or $100. There we go. Now the bottoms I will kind of saw back and forth a little bit just so I kind of make sure to get them all. This is a little bit wetter formula than I'm used to. but I will compare this to that Bad Girl Bang just because of the volume I'm getting. I don't know if you can see them. I'm getting very, very nice volume. I've only dipped back in, what, twice now? And this poor eye over here seems to keep getting the dryness. Oh, and I hit my eye. Look at that. Don't you hate when you do that? You can't really see it on here. I kind of got my eye right there. There we go. And that is it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. As always, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please take a minute to subscribe and let me know what you guys think. I will see you later and have a wonderful day. Bye. Hey guys, little update from the car on this foundation. Do you see this? Even the eyeshadow, I have to like give that even like a super, super duper thumbs up. Wow. Wow. You guys watch me do this look. It didn't take me very long. I like to do my videos, as you guys know, where I show the entire makeup look. And that's mainly because if you guys want to follow along, then it makes it very easy. But, I mean, look at this foundation. This is the CYO Life Proof, which I had been dying to try this because the Taylor, she talks so highly of this. She likes to mix this foundation with something. And I can kind of see that because it's great coverage for me, but it's not full coverage, and a lot of people prefer like more coverage. This is like the perfect coverage for me, except for, you see it broke down around my nose a little bit. That's like, my nose has been running all day. Guys, I'm in Florida and everything's in bloom, and it really just aggravates my sinuses to no end. But I'm really happy with this. I don't really talk a lot about drugstore products and whatnot, but I do use some. I have trouble finding my color in like anything, nearly anything. This is a beautiful match because I am very fair and cool toned, cool to cool medium, or cool to cool neutral, excuse me, neutral. More on the cooler side, more on the peachy kind of side. It's a weird color. I have a nightmare of a time. You know, until recently, foundations didn't come in cool tones. They came in warm, which basically they came in yellow and not yellow. Yellow and tan, and I'm not yellow or tan. So, and I mean, just like our girls with the olive skin and our chocolate, you know, the deeper, richer tones, reds and whatnot. You know, we don't talk about this, but a lot of people talk about how orange foundations are. Now, who the hell's that color? Da, 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 da. You know, I kind of laugh at that, and the reason why I laugh so hard at that is, have you ever seen these girls? They go out and they self-tan. I don't know, do they not realize they're orange? It's an orangey tan, but it's orange. It's got an orange-based kind of tone to it. And that's why these companies, I think, kind of push towards the orange tones to help the girls out that self-tan. My opinion, anyway. But I did get this off of Walgreens.com, and it was very difficult. I had a hard time ordering off there. It kept trying to send me this store, and I finally, somehow I got it to where I could pay and have it shipped. Finally, it did take me a while to do it. It only had one, it would only let me get one bottle, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know, was there only one bottle? I don't know. Anyway, the foundation was $4.35. It's crazy. You know, I am very picky with foundations, and I do have skin issues where certain things aggravate my skin, and that's why I kind of steer clear of a lot of more popular type stuff, because it seems like they don't take more time to formulate stuff, almost like it's kind of thrown together. So, but, and I try to stay with more reputable brands and stuff. I wore Clinique for years and years when I was younger, and The other one was True Match. Who made that True Match? True Match. It's been around. God, I think that was the original, like first foundation I ever used was True Match. But anyway, one of the products that I've used out of these has been like my ultimate favorite of all of them is that Pro Glow powder. I really like that because I like being able to set my foundation down, you know, and I like being able to, you know, not have it transfer and feel like it's going to really stay. But I like that little bit of glow that it gave to my skin, and it seemed to really last. But that is it. It's, like I said, it's been all day. This is 9 hours, guys. 9 hours on a less than $5 foundation. Except for, oh, I just noticed this eye has more dark around it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, as always, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And remember, guys, be nice to each other because, you know, treat people the way you want to be treated, and let's stop the bullshit. Stop bullying people, you know. And when you see somebody make a comment out there that is not cool, don't like it. Really, don't egg into it. If anything, leave a comment. I had somebody leave a racial comment that I saw on my Instagram. They posted to everybody, and I happened to see it, and I made a comment. It's not cool. It's not okay, because it's not. It's not, and we need to start saying something, you know, because it's not right. It's not, you know, why would you want somebody to stand back and say something very hurtful about you and just, you know, laugh it off or let it go? You know, that's where all this drama that's been going on in the drama community, the beauty community, which is really the drama community lately. A lot of this, you know, could have been stopped had people stood up and said, hey, this is not okay. So, it's not okay. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.